No more bland meatballs coming out of your air fryer. Check out this recipe with some exciting flavors, and we'll even whip up a quick side to go with them. Traditional meatballs are fantastic, but sometimes you want to switch it up. This recipe packs a ton of fresh flavors like scallion, ginger, and garlic. And while that cooks in the air fryer, we'll whip up a quick, crunchy sesame slaw to go with it. This is a light and fresh recipe, so we'll be using fresh ginger. It packs so much more of a punch than the powdered stuff. The easiest way to peel ginger is to use a teaspoon to peel off the woody skin before starting to slice it. Ginger is very fibrous, so an easy way to mince it is to slice it into thin discs, then give it a smash with the side of your knife. Now when you go to mince the ginger, the fibers of the ginger are cut shorter, so it will be easier and quicker to mince. Just run your knife through a few times so that it's finely minced. That will make it more evenly dispersed, but if you like large, spicier chunks of ginger, cut it how you like it. We'll reserve some ginger for when we make the slaw. The rest will go into the meatball, so we'll get it in the mixing bowl. Our next aromatic is fresh garlic. Again, you could use the powdered stuff, but having the nice fresh flavors of ginger and garlic is really what makes this meatball that much tastier. You'll want to mince the garlic to a comparable size as the minced ginger. And we'll get the garlic in with that ginger. For the scallions, separate the whites and the greens. The greens are nice and fragrant, which will go great in the slaw. Slicing the greens of the onion on a slight bias will create longer pieces that will mix into the shredded slaw more cohesively than rounds. Now we'll set this aside for later when we mix up the slaw. The whites of the onion are a little more potent and can handle higher heat, so those will go directly into the meatball. Slicing them down the middle before mincing them will allow for even distribution in the meatball and prevent the large pieces from affecting the structure of the meatball. For this meatball, we will make a panko panade. This is usually a combination of torn up bread and milk, but we found that using panko works great and it's convenient to measure. Finally, we'll season the panade. Brown sugar will add just the right amount of sweetness, and a little salt, pepper, and soy sauce will round it out with some umami. Make sure everything is well mixed and evenly dispersed before letting it rest so that the panko absorbs all the moisture. This will act as our binder for the meatballs. Now it's time to get to the ground beef. We're going to use certified Angus beef 85% lean ground beef. It's a little leaner than what I like to use for burgers, but perfect for meatballs because there's just enough fat to add flavor and ensure they'll stay juicy. Since we're using all these fresh ingredients, using the best quality beef is a must because it's the backbone of this recipe. We'll add those reserved aromatics to our mixing bowl and then begin to make the meatballs. Use your fingers to mix the ground beef so that the warmth from your hands doesn't warm up the grind too much. Just mix until everything is well distributed and there are no clumps of aromatics. This mix will make a dozen meatballs that are slightly larger than a golf ball. Or if you're not a golfer, think a larger ping pong ball. If there's any meat left over at the end, just add it to the ones that look like they might be a little small. You could use a scale to make sure they're all the same size, but this is an air fryer recipe, so there's only room for one kitchen gadget in this video. Refrigerate for 10 minutes so that they can cool back down after being worked so much. While that refrigerates, we might as well get started on the slaw. The slaw dressing shares a lot of ingredients with the meatballs. There's soy, brown sugar, which needs a little whisk to get that dissolving. We're going to use rice vinegar to add acidity, but you could easily sub out white wine vinegar or cider vinegar. Next, stream in some sesame oil while constantly whisking. This will help create an emulsion so the slaw is evenly coated. Finally, add that reserved ginger from earlier and the dressing's ready to go. To make life easy, we'll use a bag of pre-shredded slaw mix and the scallion greens that we reserved from earlier, then give it a good toss. At first, it will seem like there's not enough of the dressing to coat, but just keep tossing. The dressing will start to coat the slaw and the flavors will meld nicely while the meatballs cook. We've allowed the meatballs to chill for a little while, and I've got the air fryer preheated to 350, so now we're gonna go right into it. But first, I wanna spray the basket here with a little bit of nonstick spray, just in case. It's pretty nonstick surface, but it can't hurt. And you wanna leave these, just give them enough room for air to flow through. So maybe 1/2 inch to 1 inch. So be particular when you're spacing them out. You don't want them to touch. All right, now into the air fryer. Now I'll let these air fry for about 12 minutes or until they hit 155 degrees internally. Look at these tasty meatballs. The combination of soy and brown sugar really helped to caramelize the crust while they air fried. The flavors of fresh garlic, ginger, and scallion combined with the best ground beef you can buy is sure to be a winner. It's gonna be hard not to eat a whole plate of these. Now garnish with a little toasted sesame seed to round out those flavors. You're going to love this recipe. A unique and delicious meatball that cooks in under 20 minutes. This could be a meal all on its own. I have been smelling this long enough, I really gotta give it a try. That is so juicy. The flavors of the fresh green onion and the ginger and garlic with the soy, a little bit of sweet from the brown sugar. I'm loving this. I'm gonna try a little bit of that slaw. The crunch that goes with that tender meatball, fantastic. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time here in the test kitchen at Certified Angus Beef.